What is a Rainier Scholar? A trailblazer in their community.
A Rainier Scholar sets goals and has accomplishments to be proud of.
A Rainier Scholar is smart and knows how to get the job done.
A Rainier Scholar says yes to opportunity.
A Rainier Scholar has the courage to try new things. A Rainier Scholar is dedicated to achieving goals and dispelling stereotypes.
A Rainier Scholar loves to learn.
Strives for excellence.
Learns from mistakes.
A Rainier Scholar makes sacrifices.
A Rainier Scholar uplifts their community and makes everyone around them want to be better.
A Rainier Scholar fights for change.
A Rainier Scholar wants to learn, to discover, and leave a mark.
A Rainier Scholar has courage and confidence.
A Rainier Scholar knows it's not about the talent, it's about the work.
A Rainier Scholar finds their voice and uses it.
A Rainier Scholar is willing to work hard to get better at things.
A Rainier Scholar is dependable and tries to help others succeed.
A student who perseveres.
A work in progress.
A Rainier Scholar is a leader.
A Rainier Scholar is resilient, powerful, and inspiring.
A Rainier Scholar wants to make a difference in the world.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 Rainier Scholars Virtual Luncheon. It's been 2 years since this community gathered in celebration of this life-changing work, and we are proud to be here with you today as we shine a light on our scholars and their stories. As we are here today to honor work that advances equity and justice and seeks to redress current and historical injustice, it feels important to start by acknowledging the traditions and history of the land we are on. We are currently streaming from the traditional land of the Coast Salish people. Rainier Scholars serve students and families throughout the Seattle, Renton, and Highline areas, and for that reason, we wish to acknowledge the Duwamish, Suquamish, Snoqualmie, and Puyallup, as well as the tribes of the Muckleshoot, Tulalip, and other Coast Salish peoples. We are grateful for their stewardship, past, present, and future. We encourage all of us to consider how we can respectfully live and work as guests on these lands with the Coast Salish and Native people. To add meaningful action to this land acknowledgement, you are invited to join Rainier Scholars in supporting the following organizations: Real Rent Duwamish, Na'a Ilahi, and Red Eagle Soaring. My name is Kyla Davis Nsimbi. I'm so excited to be one of the MCs for today's event. I am a Seattle native, born and raised on Beacon Hill. I've been working at Rainier Scholars for almost 10 years, so that means when I started, this year's cohort 9 college graduates were just finishing up the academic enrichment phase. So don't be surprised if I cry. As a visual description, I am an average height Black woman with brown skin and very curly hair. I'm wearing a striped blue jumpsuit with gold jewelry, and I'm standing on an empty stage with a colorful backdrop behind me.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Caleb Tewolde, and I'm the other half of our MC team today. I'm an academic counselor at Rainier Scholars and a Cohort 5 alum who graduated from Colgate University in 2018. You might be interested to know that when I was 11 years old, I never wanted to be a Rainier Scholar. Now I've dedicated most of my life to Rainier Scholars, and today you'll see why. As a visual description, I'm an average height young Black man with curly black hair and a mustache. I'm wearing a light blue dress shirt, dark blue pants, and brown shoes, and the classic Rainier Scholars graduation stole. I'm also standing on an empty stage with a colorful backdrop behind me. I'm happy to be here today with Kyla. Though we're both fully vaccinated, we promise our production today is following rigorous COVID safety protocols.
Before we start, we've got some housekeeping to cover. If you need access to our live captioning, we invite you to click the captions link below this video or in the chat. Speaking of which, we welcome your participation in the chat today. You'll need to be signed in to your Google or YouTube account to participate. Also, if you have technical issues at any time during the program, please email info@rainierscholars.org or call 206-838-6679. A Rainier Scholars staff member will be happy to assist you.
Usually, we're together at the Sheridan Grand Ballroom with over 1,000 supporters in attendance. Today, thanks to the power of virtual broadcasts, we have over 1,200 people registered, many of whom have never been to a Rainier Scholars Luncheon. We also have people joining us from all over the country. For those of you who are new, we warmly welcome you and are grateful for your support. In the tradition of the luncheon, I'm wearing a blue graduation stole representing my status as a Rainier Scholars college graduate. Rainier Scholars provides equitable access to college prep pathways for underrepresented students of color, creating new generations of diverse college graduates, career professionals, and community leaders. Our program model is unique. Let's learn more about it.
The Rainier Scholars journey begins with a cohort of 10-year-olds who love to learn, supported by families determined to use education as a pathway to opportunity for their children. Over 14 intensive months, we challenge scholars with rigorous academics while surrounding them with a supportive community as they strive to be their best. Their confidence grows, their identity is strengthened, they discover the power of their voice and the satisfaction of their accomplishments. We then facilitate placement for our scholars in college preparatory settings in public, private, and independent schools. As scholars grow, we help grow their leadership skills, asking them to step out of their comfort zone and take risks, develop a deeper understanding of societal problems, and figure out how to solve them. We provide a range of career development opportunities that help scholars build skills, experience, and professional networks. We help them navigate the college application process so they have an array of choices, support them throughout their college journey, and celebrate when they cross the finish line. And when they emerge from our 12-year program, we stand in awe of this new generation of leaders, ready to make their mark on the world.
I will contribute to the change that I want to see in the world by trying to change the way that people think and treat of each other based on skin color or amount of money. I say this because if we can work together and get along, then we can achieve much greater things.
I have and will continue to go to protest, donate, and spread awareness and be a voice for the unheard when needed. I want to engage in my community and help out by finding efficient solutions that will work for everybody. I hope to vote responsibly when I'm older and vote not just in presidential elections, but also in local elections as well.
I will contribute to the change I want to see in the world by being the best scholar I can be in any and every environment I am in, to set a precedent and create opportunity for future scholars to come.
I hope to create a world where there are very little to no barriers for people to obtain the care that they need to live the best life that they can live.
Alone we can be ignored, but together we are heard.
We are Rainier Scholars. We are the future.
I'm always inspired by the commitment of my fellow scholars to make a positive impact, and I'm equally inspired by those who choose to invest in our scholars' success.
Our goal today is to raise $1.8 million. This is an ambitious goal, but with your help, we can get there. Let's take a look at our progress. Wow! Thanks to over 500 donors, we have already raised over $1 million. Our heartfelt gratitude to those who have made their gift. Thank you for believing in our scholars and the importance of education equity. We look forward to inspiring others to donate today, ensuring we, in Rainier Scholars tradition, exceed expectations. Our goal is to make it easy for you to support our scholars. All you need to do is click the donate button on the Q Give page where you're watching right now, or text Rainier Scholars, all one word, to 50155. You can also make a pledge to be paid later by clicking the button that says Give by Check or Make a Pledge. If you want your pledge to count towards our event goal today, make sure you use that pledge form and don't wait until the event is over.
I can testify to the impact of Rainier Scholars on young lives in our community. Not only do I work directly with students, but I am a Rainier Scholars alum. So I can say with confidence that our scholars grow up to be amazing adults. With nearly 300 college graduates, the strength of our alumni network continues to grow. Let's hear from a few members here in Seattle and around the country.
Hey Rainier Scholars, this is Jamie Lee, and I am a member of Cohort 1. I'm coming to you from Oakland, California, where I am working as a product marketing manager for a company called Nextdoor.
Hello, my name is Vishay, Cohort 2, graduate of University of Washington, Seattle, class of 2015, and I am currently a school and community engagement coordinator and mentor, so working with high school youth within the greater Seattle.
Hello and greetings from Detroit, Michigan. My name is Winston Law. I'm a proud member of Cohort 3 who graduated from Middlebury College in 2016. After 5 years with Venture for America as a program participant and as a staff member, I'll be making a big leap to work full-time as a baker at Sister Pie. I'm excited to pursue this path with the goal of one day opening my own community-oriented and crave-worthy bakery back home in Seattle.
Hello everyone and greetings from Seattle. My name is Jasmine. I am a part of Cohort 4. I graduated from Goucher College in 2016 and I am currently a communications and outreach consultant on transportation projects.
Hello from Atlanta. My name is Jomika Bland. I'm in Cohort 2. I graduated from Agnes Scott College in Decatur, Georgia in 2014, and I currently work as a senior associate in learning at Ernst & Young.
Hello, my name is Ankit Uras. I'm in Cohort 6. I graduated from University of Washington, Seattle, and I currently work as a consultant at Logic 2020.
Hello from Minneapolis, Minnesota. My name is Denzel Beelan, proud member of Cohort 3. I graduated from St. Olaf College, and along with being a writer, actor, and director, I serve as the artistic director for Threshold Theater right here in Minneapolis.
Hi, I'm Phoenix Limbasayo Bowen out here in Seattle. I'm in Cohort 4, and I attended Boston University for behavioral health. I now run a performance and media business here in Seattle, but also in other parts of the country.
Hi everyone, this is Thaddeus Gregory, Rainier Scholars Cohort 3, here in Seattle, Washington. I'm a graduate of Carleton College and University of Michigan Law School, and I'm an attorney with Hills, Clark, Martin, and Peterson.
What's going on? My name is Andre Lino. I'm based out of here in Seattle, Washington. Part of the Cohort 5 group with Rainier Scholars. Graduated in 2018 from Eastern Washington University, where I played football. Right now I'm working as a quality engineer with Genie Industries out in Redmond, Washington. And I'm also a coach, a football and track and field coach with Bishop Blanchette High School.
That's incredible. I'm always so inspired by our alumni, including Caleb over there. That's Rainier Scholars at work. That is the ultimate answer to the question, what is a Rainier Scholar? It gives me hope to see our future leaders and change makers finding their way in the world. One of the keys to a successful nonprofit is its leadership. In just a couple of months, Rainier Scholars will welcome a new executive director, Rafael Del Castillo, an educator with over 35 years of leadership experience. As an immigrant who used education as a pathway for opportunity and success, his story reflects the Rainier Scholars journey. Recently, a group of Rainier Scholars got to know Rafael. Take a look.
Good afternoon, everyone, especially to Rafael this afternoon. It's great to see you here.
Great to see you all. Thank you for being here.
And we have Imani, Denise, and Amir, who are all Rainier Scholars here. My name is actually Jalen Wright, and I am a Rainier Scholars alumni. I am in Cohort 7 and actually graduated from Morehouse College this past May, so.
Congratulations.
Hello, my name is Imani. I'm in 6th grade and I go to Lakeside.
Good to talk to
Can I
you.
ask?
Hi, my name is Amir. I'm in 8th grade and I go to Seattle Academy.
Hi, Amir. How are you?
Hi, my name is Denise Aguilar Sarmiento. I am a senior at the Lakeside School.
Hola, Denise.
Hola.
Excellent. So should we get started with questions, you guys?
Okay. I was just wondering, why do you want to work with Rainier Scholars?
Well, that question takes me all the way back to when I started my career as a teacher. And people would ask me, why would you ever want to be a teacher? And now, like 30 years later, it's the best thing I've ever done. And now, through Rainier Scholars, I will get to work with you all, with scholars who really know what school can do.
I was wondering, how do you plan to change Rainier Scholars for the better?
Yeah, changing things for the better is a tricky question because first you have to figure out what that thing is. And Rainier Scholars is pretty remarkable. But first and foremost, it's talking to you all and your families and figuring out what is most important. One of the first people I talked to was Sarah Smith. She is a remarkable leader, and following her and taking us to that next plateau is a huge challenge. We have goals to serve more scholars, but also we need to look at students and families who don't come into the program. So this is going to be a big challenge. I've stepped into big shoes before, but these might be the biggest yet. So wish me luck, you guys.
My question is, how do you see that taking place within the Rainier Scholars mission of providing more educational opportunities to BIPOC students?
This is a moment of self-reflection for every organization that serves BIPOC families and kids. And so we're going to have to start with that self-reflection. But it's also a moment of incredible opportunity. We have the attention of so many people who see that things need changing. You know, Rainier Scholars has been part of that change for 20 years. Now the rest of the world is catching up with the mission, vision, and values of this organization.
I have one more very important question for you, Raphael. Definitely, being a man of color, what does this position at Rainier Scholars mean to you, especially during these trying times?
You know, it is, it's a moment to step up and work with youth to not accept what is and what has been, but actually take us to the next place of inclusion and equity, to take us further and to bring us together during times that feel really, really hard. You all are out there, you're experiencing it where you are, and I am so excited to be in an organization that from the start already feels so comfortable.
Yes, and we're glad to have you.
In the last year, we've gone through a lot, right? As a nation, as a world, you all as students. What's been your high point?
I would say for me is, ironically, it would be getting my first college rejection. I had already received a lot of positive news from other colleges. And I personally, throughout the whole process, thought, I'm not going to get in. I'm going to be frank with you. I don't think I can compete with all of these other people at my school. And then in the end, it was like, no, I did. And I made it. And that was when I realized, that throughout the pandemic, I managed to find myself a little bit more. And I think that really helped me throughout the college application experience. I did it. I finally did it.
Thank you.
I was able to graduate from Morehouse College this past May, trying to finish my degree. But I was able to, and I actually have my big degree at home with me now. And one day I'll actually bring it into Rainier Scholars so everyone can see it. But
we'd love that.
So just being able to go back to school and see teachers and friends and all that kind of stuff, and being around each other and feeling that sense of community again. Not that I wasn't feeling it, but it was like feeling more together again. It was great.
My high point was being able to make friends, because I'm going to a new school, don't know anybody, we're on Zoom, never made an online friend before because I'm one of those weird people who doesn't play video games. And I guess that worked out pretty well. I made some really nice friends, and I am proud of myself.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for being my introduction to the Rainier Scholars of today. You are definitely at the heart of the organization, and it's an organization with a lot of heart. I've been welcomed in a wonderful, warm, and caring way, and I really appreciate your time with me today. Thank you.
Welcome to Rainier Scholars.
Our community is excited to welcome Raphael this summer. That same community includes leaders from businesses who understand the value of Rainier Scholars. Let's hear from leaders at 2 companies who stepped up with generous sponsorships for today's event.
Hi, this is Andy Jassy, and I'm on the board of Rainier Scholars, and I'm also the CEO of Amazon Web Services. And I wanted to say a few words about why I think Rainier Scholars is so impactful in our community. I think if you think about opportunity in general, and particularly as you look out over the next 50 to 100 years in this country, education is the key that opens all those opportunities. And you can see the disparities in our country. Only 16% of the kids born into household incomes of $56,000 or less end up going to college, while 82% in families with household income over $108,000 end up going to college. So 16% versus 82%. That is a huge difference in outcomes and opportunities. And I think we have to fix that in this country if we're going to have the country we want with the right racial equality and the right opportunities for everybody. And what you see with a program like Rainier Scholars is that kids can do it if they're given the same opportunities, if they're given great teachers and great instruction and great structure and great organization, and are invested in the way that we invest in a lot of children in other parts of our country. Lots of kids can do it if we give them the chance. And so Rainier Scholars has been doing that for kids of color around the King County and South Seattle area for a long time. And the program has been around for over 20 years. About 95% of the kids in Rainier Scholars who go through the program get admitted to 4-year colleges, and about 90% of them are on track, either have graduated or are on track to graduate within 5 years, which is much higher than the national average. So the program is having a real impact in giving lots of kids opportunities that otherwise wouldn't be available to them, and then allowing them to make an impact in our community. So very passionate about it, feel very lucky to be involved, and I hope that you'll help support Rainier Scholars today and in the future. Thanks.
So when I heard about Rainier Scholars, and I heard that what they were doing for the students, and that the students their target student was first generation born in the States, I really connect with that. My parents were from Mexico, and I'm first generation, and growing up speaking Spanish in our home, and getting pulled out of school to go be the translator for my parents, and just the journey that it is navigating that life really connected with me, and I thought it was what a great opportunity to be able to share my experiences and things that I've learned over my lifetime with other kids.
Thank you to Andy and Cesar for sharing how important our work is to you. Sponsors are a huge part of our success. Speaking of success, let's take a look on where we are with our fundraising journey. Let's take a look at the thermometer. Whoa, that is awesome. Thank you so much to everyone who has contributed so far. You can give at any time during the program to help us hit that goal by 1 p.m. We could not hold this event each and every year and reach our goals without the generous contributions of our sponsors. First, I'd like to thank our PhD sponsors for their extraordinary support. Affinity, Amazon, Matt and Evelyn, and Mortensen. Even in a difficult economy, many other companies have stepped up and have been extremely generous to Rainier Scholars this year. Our sponsors come from all different sectors, from tech to biotech to healthcare to the financial sector. One thing they have in common is that they understand how critical education equity is to a more fair and more just world. And more importantly, they put action behind their belief and invest in the community to make it happen. Many of these companies are longtime supporters of Rainier Scholars, and some are sponsoring us for the very first time this year. This support matters more than ever. Rainier Scholars is proud to have developed active partnerships with businesses that go beyond sponsorship dollars. We create opportunities for both scholars and companies to benefit from each other's presence and perspectives. Local and national companies in our community are key partners in our leadership and career development programs. High school and college internships are a powerful way for our scholars to explore different career possibilities while building their networks and resumes with relevant work experiences. We partner with internship sites that reflect the diverse interests of our scholars. Our internship partners make a commitment to advancing tomorrow's leaders, while all our scholars bring new perspectives to their jobs and catalyze creativity and innovation within an organization. And in the past 14 years, we've successfully placed students in over 800 internships.
Hello, my name is Salam Gurmu. I'm a junior at the University of Washington, and then this is my third summer at Baird.
Hello, my name is Diane Carranza. I'm a senior at Seattle University, graduating this June. I interned at Baird last year, and now I am working full-time at Baird.
During my first summer at Baird, I wasn't entirely sure of what I wanted to do in the future, but since spending multiple summers here, I've kind of honed down on what I want to do, and I'm definitely interested in the financial industry.
Like Salam, I also was interested in the financial industry. I majored in finance, and so this was a great opportunity to get a head start and really be introduced into the private wealth management industry. When the COVID-19 pandemic started, our internship had to be moved virtual, and this created a lot of changes for the industry. John came to us with the idea of creating a project.
So we collaborated on this project and surveyed associates throughout the office to figure out what they were doing well in and what was more difficult during this time. Kind of after that research, we provided best practices and actionable items that they could implement into their daily lives to make working from home a little bit easier.
One of the suggestions that we had was implementing routine check-ins, especially with older clients who might have challenges with meeting virtually, and a lot of the teams said that this was great feedback and that they would be incorporating this into their plan.
Our suggestions were helpful for associates to communicate better with their clients. Our project was well received, and we were able to present that to senior leaders at Baird.
Rainier Scholars offered lots of help when prepping for my interview at Baird. They helped with workshops where we worked on my resume and we worked on tips for interviews, and they were always really attentive in helping me be able to connect with companies like Baird.
During my freshman year, I was eager to get an internship for the summer, and I connected with Rainier Scholars. I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do, but I was given a lot of information and just ideas on what internships I could apply to and what were available at the time, and that's when I found Baird.
I am now working full-time at Baird, and I hope to grow within the company and hopefully one day become a client assistant.
This will be my third summer at Baird, and after graduation, I hope to also land a full-time position here. I'm really interested in a career in the financial industry, and I hope to someday provide services to communities of color.
Hello, I am John Ramsire with Baird, and thanks, Diane, and thanks, Salam. Great to see you and have you here. The financial services industry has done, in my opinion, a very poor job of bringing in more diversity and more youth. And through the Rainier Scholars Organization, we have really attached ourselves to these talented young people who are well educated and they are motivated, and they come to us already prepared for the world and for life and for a career. The one part that they touched on, but they really didn't highlight too much, was this project that they did for us about remote work environment. You have to realize we were just coming into COVID, and we did not understand how we were going to run our practice when we were all remote. Well, they put together about a 20-page PowerPoint presentation very detailed with a lot of new ideas that we hadn't even identified yet. The presentation was so good. We talked to the people in Milwaukee, and they ended up presenting it to our senior leadership in Milwaukee. We are passionate about working with Rainier Scholars. It is an incredible organization, and we are thankful to partner with them. And Diane and Salam, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story, and we are lucky to have you.
Wow. Helping to connect brilliant and determined scholars with life-changing opportunities, it doesn't get much better than that. Speaking of brilliant and determined, right now we're going to hear from Maya Garcia, a Cohort 13 scholar who in the 7 years that I've known her has always impressed me with her creativity, thoughtfulness, and willingness to take risks. Welcome, Maya.
Thank you, Kyla. When I was 14, I almost crashed a plane. Through Rainier Scholars, I attended a summer flight camp at Embry-Riddle. I was one of 2 girls and very few people of color. As I climbed into the pilot's seat for the first time, I could hear my heart pounding. The flight instructor said that flying a plane would be just like driving a car. The only problem was that I was 14 and had never driven a car. I listened to him explain how to taxi, and as we reached the runway, he said that I would need to add more right rudder before takeoff. I nodded as though I understood. As the plane started to speed down the runway, I added what I thought was a sufficient amount of right rudder. It was not enough. As he frantically yelled for more right rudder, I felt the plane swerve right. So far that we almost fell off of the runway. Although this was traumatic and the instructor finished the takeoff for me, this flight was one of the most exciting experiences I've ever had. It felt exhilarating to be thousands of feet above the rest of the world. As we returned to the flight school's main office, I had forgotten my failed takeoff and was instead focused on how much I enjoyed flying. But waiting for me was a group of teenage boys and their instructors laughing about the plane that had almost crashed. Suddenly, I felt embarrassed and ashamed and doubted my capabilities and worth. However, to my surprise, when I returned home, I was met by an entire group of supporters, both within my local community as well as Rainier Scholars, who encouraged me to pursue my passion. I was reminded that by having the courage to leave my comfort zone, I did not fail at what mattered most. That inaugural flight proved to be an essential turning point for me in my empowerment as a woman of color. I realized that one must take risks, be brave, and most importantly, find others to encourage and believe in them. Without being grounded in a supportive community, young women, especially those of color, are more likely to give up pursuing their dreams. What I admire most about my mom is her strength and her confidence. As a single parent raising 4 girls, she is determined to put us on a path to success. I witnessed my older sister's perseverance as she spent countless hours on Rainier Scholars homework in the middle of summer. And because of this, I was unsure if I wanted to follow in her footsteps. But my mom knew that this hard work would be best for my future. When I look back on my Rainier Scholars journey, I'm not sure there was just one experience that changed me. It was countless little things that added up over time. I've always loved learning, but I didn't necessarily like school. Rainier Scholars was the first time I had ever been challenged in an academic setting. I met educators who believed in me, and I discovered I was capable of much more than I knew. Being surrounded by students like me who loved to learn provided the push that I needed to excel. I had no way of knowing the opportunities that would be waiting for me. I attended Billings Middle School, and in a few days will graduate from Annie Wright, which is a boarding school in Tacoma. For the past 4 years, I've been involved with the school's Model UN Global Action Club. I'm now the co-president and take great pride in our commitment to social justice and community advocacy. I'm the Black Student Union president at Annie Wright and recently coordinated a conference for the empowerment of Black students. If there's one thing that I've learned at Rainier Scholars, it's the power of using your voice and leading with purpose. I was also inspired to pursue a mentorship role with Rainier Scholars. In the summer of 2019, I served as a student advisor to 11 young girls. Before I started, I was just as nervous as I had been when climbing into the pilot seat for the first time, because I wanted to be the best mentor for the kids who were under my guidance. This was my first leadership position where I truly realized someone looked up to me. These fears faded after the first few weeks when I realized how much I enjoyed being a leader. I gained confidence in myself while empowering and guiding others. It was extremely challenging, but rewarding. I've continued flying and recently received 10 college acceptances, and am making what feels like one of the most important decisions of my life. The tradition at Rainier Scholars is you receive a college sweatshirt reflecting your final choice. I asked for 3 sweatshirts in preparation for my speech today. I've narrowed my choices to Haverford, Pitzer, or Scripps. I have yet to decide, but I know that I'll make the right decision for myself. I think of all the people who have helped me get to this point: my family, my school, my Rainier Scholars community. Looking back, I firmly believe the rudder pedal helped empower me to have confidence and courage in achieving my goals. The rudder is vital to a successful takeoff. I'm uplifted by my community as I take flight.
I love that. Confidence and courage to achieve her goals. Maya, we are inspired to watch you fly. Maya mentioned all the people who have helped her get to this moment. At Rainier Scholars, the strength of our program comes from working in partnership with families. Maya's mom, Yvonne, would like to share some of her thoughts about what it means to be on this journey together.
My name is Yvonne Hubbard, and my family has been a part of Rainier Scholars for about a decade. So my 4 daughters, Maria Garcia, who is in cohort 11, Maya Garcia, who is in cohort 13, Uma Garcia, who is in cohort 16, and Naomi Garcia, who is in cohort 17. And I can't say anything about Maya without saying anything about her sisters, but also Maya. I'm really proud of Maya for never giving up, right? Like, she doesn't, perseverance is really her thing. She stands up for what she believes in. She speaks up, she figures out how to do it. She flies planes. What is that? Even if I don't like something, she still is comfortable enough to be herself, And so I think that's a really, really amazing thing about her. She's not afraid of hard work, right? And she's not afraid to say oh, this is how I can do better, and this is what I'm doing, and honoring, all of the things that she's doing. That's amazing. I gave her the opportunity to be in this space, right? And so I need her to fully own it. And so I need to step away because I may be too opinionated about it. But that moment, if you have kids and you give birth to them, or you hold them, or, you get this new little person and you're like, oh, I want you to have everything, right? Opportunities and options, right? And for me, that was wow, I really wanted to go to college. And I didn't. I had kids instead, which I'm really happy I had, right? For me, that was the right path. I wanted my kids to have options. I want them to, my girls to know, especially being girls, that you don't just have to be a mom, right? I don't ever want them to be in a position where someone is telling them that they're not capable, or that they don't believe that they can do the things that they can do. I think my kids are hardworking, and I think my kids are smart, but there is something with your environment where you're not being encouraged to do your best and be your best by your school or an educational program, that sometimes kids give up, right? And so I think if they hadn't had that, I see them pulling in on the Rainier Scholars values all the time and how they like manage themselves, because I don't do any of it, you know? So I think that like the impact has just been amazing. Like they wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for the support that they've had. There were so many good moments, right? So I knew that it was going to work, especially when I showed up and you guys like listened to me, right? And you like had a conversation and you listened to my daughter. I think the biggest thing that I've noticed with the some of the parents I've encountered is that one, we all like believe in education and the importance of it, and then two, like we also believe in like working hard, right? Like it's not only is your child working hard, but you're working hard when your kid is crying, you know, and you're like, what did I just get myself into? Why did I do this to myself again? I think you have to be a certain kind of person to just be like, you know what, it's going to be okay. We're going to do this. I think we all accept help, right? Like, I think at some point we're going to need to like lean on the rest of us, the rest of the community, be it the like Rainier Scholar staff or like another parent. I know there's been moments where I've called other moms or I've seen another mom and we just talk about what we can do to support each other. But it does feel good to have that, knowing that all her hard work and all of what Rainier Scholars put into her. You know?
Thank you, Yvonne, for sharing your story and trusting us with your children and your hopes and dreams for them. Rainier Scholars is all about empowering students to use their voice and embrace opportunity and choice. You just heard from Maya, one of our 41 scholars who has earned 190 acceptances at 87 colleges and universities here and around the country. And as Maya said, this next step is one of the most significant choices a scholar has to make, deciding where to go to college. Let's hear from 5 graduating seniors in our program about their college choices, what they're looking forward to, and how they want to make their way in the world.
My name is Donahue Torres Marquez. Next year, I'm heading to the University of Chicago, where I'm hoping to study either biology or psychology. It's almost across the country, so I'm going to be far away from my family. I'm excited to just learn about myself more and what I'm interested in, and figure out and just like explore life.
Hey guys, my name is Fulman Dawi, and next year I'm going to be attending Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm hoping to be studying biochemistry and sociology, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for me to get away from my family and explore the South a little.
Hi, my name is Josephine Silva, and next year I'm going to be attending Occidental College in Los Angeles, California, and I'm hoping to study economics and the French language. And I'm looking forward to also being away from what I'm used to and participating and joining a new community and discovering many new things.
Hello, I'm Marcel Faseha, and I'll be attending Swarthmore College, which is right outside of Philadelphia in the fall. I plan to study engineering or economics, but I chose the liberal arts school so I can explore my options.
Hello, my name is Solomon Seged, and I'm deciding between Harvard University and Pomona College to study neuroscience on a pre-med track, and I'm excited to seek new opportunities, find new communities, and get away from home for a little.
So the first thing that I'm going to do when I get to the University of Chicago is probably just to walk around the city and explore the city and see all the sights.
First thing I want to do when I get to Tulane University is take the streetcar to Draco's and get a bunch of seafood gumbo.
I would have never thought that I would have had the chance to join or attend a college. So here I am, thanks to all the skills that I've learned with all of my years as a Rainier Scholar.
College felt so far away back when I was in Rainier Scholars' academic phase. It feels surreal that I will now be beginning my adult life.
I would have never dreamed of myself being in the position that I am in, without the support of Rainier Scholars. And I learned that persistence and continuing with your passions despite failures is like the most important skill to gain.
And first thing I'll do when I get to Philadelphia is get an authentic Philly cheesesteak.
We did it!
We did it!
It's inspiring to see our scholars persevere in looking to the future with enthusiasm and courage. Their stories remind us of what is possible when hope and hard work meet access and opportunity. This past year, it has been hard to remain hopeful and resilient. The global pandemic has fully illuminated the historic and systemic inequities that continue to shape this country. The issue of education justice remains at the core of the Rainier Scholars mission. Dr. Ed Taylor has provided a reflection upon this past year and our call to action in efforts to build a more just and equitable community.
We have far too many kids, some of them are our Rainier Scholars, who are having to face the question, does my life right now, does my life matter? And we have to be very, very clear about the answer to that question. Your life in all of its fullness matters. We have to intervene, that we have to do something, we have to try our best, that we have to be in the work of education justice, of education access, of giving everyone an equal opportunity to be successful, not just in schools, but in our community, in our nation. We have no excuse in a city like Seattle not to be thinking together about intervening and doing right by every kid that's born, no matter where they're born. To be an educator at a university is to come face to face to terms with data, and that data that becomes humanized, that your birthright may actually predetermine how you're educated, where you're educated. It could predetermine the quality of your life. It can predetermine how long you live. To be in that data is to actually be haunted by that data. When the concept of Rainier Scholars came, it gave us something tangible, because there's no mystery to what it means to actually engage kids in purposeful education, in passionate education, in loving education. It means surrounding them with good teachers and good educators. It means persistence. It means believing in kids and having them believe in themselves. It means calling families together to be a part of the education process. It means bringing rigor to bear. It means creating a sense of imagination and a sense of belonging in education. It means reinforcing that over and over and over again for the long haul, not just in 5th grade, not just in 8th grade, not just as you enter high school, but through the long haul. This is a lifetime journey. It means committing to well-being, to care and compassion and love in education. On the heels of 2020, in a moment in which there was so much despair in our nation and in our communities, I look at Rainier Scholars and I see hope. Our democracy depends on education working. Education equity is perhaps the most important issue of our time. And as complicated as it might seem to change systems, to change how education works, maybe it's really quite simple. It's the shake of a hand. It's a high five. It's looking kids in the eye and looking them in the eye day by day and saying, welcome, you belong here. I see kids who believe in themselves and believe in something beyond themselves. They believe that our nation can get better. They believe that our communities can get better. They believe in leadership. They believe in public service. They believe in the common good. I see a community walking alongside of kids, letting them know that we're in this together. And there were moments in the darkness during the course of this year. I looked to Rainier Scholars and found myself feeling hopeful again.
For too many, a zip code may predetermine how you're educated, where you're educated, and even the quality of the life that you'll live. Let's take a moment and consider the impact of Dr. Taylor's statement. 98118, that's my zip code, and I'm proud to call that zip code home, even to this day. My name is Bisrat Gebre, and I'm also proud to be a Rainier Scholars alumni, a member of Cohort 3, and I have the distinct privilege of being the first alum elected to the Rainier Scholars Board of Trustees. At the beginning of my Rainier Scholars journey, I've got to admit, as an 11-year-old, the thought of hitting the books hard for 2 summers and a school year in between, for all the short-term sacrifices that Rainier Scholars requires, I wasn't sure I was quite sold. But my family had a vision for my future, a vision that over time I also began to see. Rainier Scholars has provided me with purposeful education by surrounding me with fantastic teachers who taught me resilience, instilled in me a love for education, and helped me believe in myself at a very early age. And I got to experience all of that in a community of like-minded scholars who have become my best friends over the years. As a scholar, I was presented with incredible opportunities, the opportunity to attend a private school, opportunities at internships in high school and college, educational opportunities that today have led to greater career choice. And now, as a member of the board, the opportunity to give back. Now, what Rainier Scholars does is magical, but it's not magic. It's a simple formula, really. A formula that has worked extremely well for the last 20 years. It calls for families that are invested in quality education. It takes kids who believe in something beyond themselves and are not only committed to improving their own lives, but their communities as well. It takes teachers and staff who have faith in our scholars and who day in and day out for 12 years in ways that are spoken and unspoken, let the students know that they belong. And of course, it takes you. Your support is the engine that propels us to a more fair and equitable future. We want to ensure that we can continue this formula of success until we live in a world where Rainier Scholars is no longer needs to exist. And what a beautiful thought that is. And on that note, let's check in on our fundraising goal. Wow, I think we've hit our goal, but at Rainier Scholars, once we achieve a goal, we're asked to raise the bar a little bit. And so I encourage you to give the most meaningful contribution that you can so that our collective efforts can drive us to a future that we all deserve. So I know that initial goal was 1.8, but let's see if we can hit that $2 million mark. Thank you for your time and attention to this virtual event. I know it's not easy in today's world. And also thank you for your generous support of Rainier Scholars.
It's important to remember the Rainier Scholars journey starts in 5th grade. Like Biz, I remember how hard it was as an 11-year-old to say yes to more work. Building a foundation of confidence, resilience, and belonging is important. Some students from Cohort 20 created a video for us describing why they believe in themselves. Let's take a look.
The reason why I believe in myself is because the people around me that I love believe in me, which makes me strive to believe in myself.
I believe in myself because of my homework ability. Also, because I have a loving family, because not everybody has that.
I believe in myself because I have an encouraging family and my family always believes in me.
I believe in myself
because I am African American.
I believe in myself because I know about my culture and about my ancestors, and just knowing that I have ancestors that did something great helps me remind myself that I am powerful and that I have the ability to change things.
I believe in myself because of my family. They're always there to help me and support me through tough times.
One reason why I believe in myself is that I know if I put the work into it and work really hard and I get through Rainier Scholars, at the end of the day, I have the decision of going to picking a job that I love.
I believe in myself because of my parents' encouragement and how they push me so hard so I can be successful.
I believe in myself because I know my family believes in me and supports me.
I believe in myself because I know that I have what it takes to be a Rainier Scholar student, and I take that with pride and motivation into regular school.
I believe in myself because I have a really supportive family, so that helps me a lot. And I also believe in myself because I want to do something really great in life, and I know that I have to believe in myself if I want to be able to accomplish that.
Cohort 20, fifth graders who started Rainier Scholars in a virtual world. They are determined to persevere on college prep pathways as sixth graders ready to be part of their school communities. As Cohort 20 begins their journey, another class of Rainier Scholars college graduates emerge out into the world.
I'm Ramsey Sanchez Hernandez. I'm currently senior at NYU, and I will be graduating in about a month and a half's time. And this summer, I will be starting my career as a full-time software engineer at Microsoft.
My name is Cheyenne Brashear. I am attending Pitzer College, class of 2021, majoring in Indigenous ethnobotany, and I hope to pursue a career in naturopathic medicine after this.
My name is Joanna Lee. I am currently attending Northeastern University and will be graduating in May. I would love to go into forensic science. I've always dreamed of it.
Hi, my name is Tony Ngo. I am a senior CS major at Carleton College, and this after college this summer, I'm planning to be working at Amazon AWS.
My name is Sara Sarmiento. I am from Cohort 9. I go to St. Olaf College, hopefully targeting the area of environmental conservation, whether that's like land, energy, or water conservation.
Hello, I'm Daniel. I attend Northwestern University here in Evanston. Following graduation, I'll be starting at Deutsche Bank this summer, working in investment banking.
I'm Shelley Hardwick, the mother of Zoe Hardwick, who's a Rainier Scholar.
And I'm Zoe Hardwick. I'm graduating from Smith, and I'm going to Columbia next year for my MFA in creative writing.
What I knew Rainier Scholars for was the AEP primarily at the time, and it was all this academic stuff constantly, and I found it to be helpful in high school. But now, when I thought about internships, looking to get a full-time job, it's really the social skills that come from being able to do lots of things when you have lots of work coming at you that I found to be really helpful.
I think it's been a lot of exposure, mainly to different people and communities that I don't think I would have been a part of otherwise.
Rainier Scholars is absolutely essential to the entire Seattle greater area. Like, if this program could expand to every single school and we could get this type of education for every single student, imagine like the world we would be in.
The students that Rainier Scholars targets, like everyone has something like they need to overcome, whether it's like being a first-gen student or being a family that's low income.
Where I came from a low-income family, I came from a family of immigrants, has, you know, a success story. And I think being able to share that with younger students and being able to use my experiences to help support those students achieve something that when I was young thought was beyond my capability and beyond my dreams.
I think that'd be a great success for me if I'm able to help people potentially get into the position I am, or something, an equivalent that they're interested in as well.
Being first generation, like this degree isn't just for me, it's for my mom and my dad and all the family that made sacrifice for me to be here. I just think it's a sense of stewardship that doesn't really exist outside of the program. Like, you are representing something that's so much greater than yourself.
You know, my father sits behind us in this picture, and his whole thing was education and how important education is. As a grown-up person, almost old person now, I see how important education is for Black community. And so the larger impact is to see that she not only completes college, she is now on to graduate school. And she will complete that and do big things with that. No pressure. But, you know, I mean, that's a larger impact, not only on me, but on our community.
And I think that Rainier Scholars does a really good job at giving children the freedom to dream, but also saying there's a way that works. Like, there's a way that works. If you want to be the writer, sometimes it's better to go to school, be formally educated, especially for Black people, I think, Black communities, brown communities, because then no one can take that away from you.
As a result of the luncheon that I spoke at, the annual fundraising luncheon, anonymous donors reached out to me and offered me a gift to go back and finish my degree. During my speech, I had talked about not being able to finish and how that motivated me even more to see my daughter complete. So I was able to went in as a junior and completed in 2 years at the University of Washington. So whoop whoop, I got my bachelor's. So it's an amazing experience.
It's always great to say I went here, I did this, and those are concrete things I think really do help Black and brown children who are then teens, who are then adults, excel.
And Rainier Scholars
helps you get there. Yeah.
To think that I met all of them when they were 12, it's incredible to think about how they envision their future as middle schoolers and high school students, and how now they've made their dreams a reality. Our job today was to make sure that future cohorts of Rainier Scholars get a chance to make their dreams a reality too. Let's take one last look at our fundraising totals and see if we have hit our increased goal of $2 million. Can we see the thermometer, please? What? Wow, this is amazing. Thanks to all of you watching at home, we beat our goal. What an incredible outpouring of support for this new generation of diverse leaders whose voice, perspective, and talent will help move us forward. We're grateful to the many table captains who generously helped make this result possible today. From board members to alumni to community leaders and supportive businesses, we rely on you to help amplify our message out in the world and make our mission possible. And you certainly succeeded in doing that today. We can't wait to see our table captains in person next year.
That brings us to the end of our virtual luncheon today. We are so grateful to you for what we've accomplished today. Normally, at the end of our luncheon, we bring scholars on stage in their sweatshirts to celebrate their college choices. And while we can't do that this year, we can still celebrate this incredible moment with our community. Thank you. Thank you to our supporters. Thank you to our scholars for their incredible work.